Hey there, friends. A couple of months ago, Jane and I did our very first video ministry update. And if you saw it, you'll remember that Jane said she didn't think we'd ever do this again, but because of your wild enthusiasm by popular demand, here we are again. No guarantee that we'll ever try it again,
That's for sure.
But we're so happy that we can chat with you one more time.
We tried to do this video on our patio this time. First time we were in the kitchen, which was the only place in the house that looked decent because it was so early in our time here. Patio was too bright because the sun is just still too intense. So we are here in our dining room. Actually, we usually eat on our patio 2 or 3 meals a day because it's so nice out there. We are never in this dining room, so it's nice to look around, actually, see what it looks like.
We want to cover 2 things. One, I've asked Jane to give an update from her perspective of what her focus and activities are and what's been happening since we talked last. And then I've got some major new ministry developments that I want to share with you, so that's what we hope to accomplish.
Whenever we move to a new place, I always think it's going to take about 2 weeks and we're going to be done moving in and then move on. And it never does seem to be that way. We're pretty much moved in. There are still a few types of stores that I need to find and a few items that I need to find. Like a good crusty baguette is what I'm still looking for. The month of August, June and July was pretty much moving in. The month of August, the new trainees for the Center for Pioneer Church Planting were beginning to move back down. And so we had a chance to visit with brand new babies and see people move in and start to make friendships and have relationships with these new trainees, excuse me. The month of August also had a lot of missionaries coming through. And we really, as the missionaries are coming through, we really try and have them in our home, either for a meal or for an afternoon. It's good to have their name. It's better to have their name and picture. The best is to get to know them personally and hear of their high points and the low points in the last few months and really be able to pray for them. The month of August found us doing that a lot. We have, for instance, we have 3 families going to Papua New Guinea, PNG, and one of them has arrived. 2 of them are going in the next few months, and we've been spending time with them. We have had a lot of our missionaries coming up from Mexico. We are in the Oaxaca region in the far south, and for various reasons they needed to come out through here in August. So we've just been spending a lot of time in hospitality recently. One of the other things that we'd like to do is have all of the staff and students over. We've started with the single staff, moving on to the families, staff and their families, and then onto the students. This past week was the orientation week for the Center for Pioneer Church Planting, and I did everything from babysitting to helping with an orientation for the women. Basically just trying to be helpful wherever I could be. I have a feeling, however, this week I will be assembling bookcases for Walt's new office, but I'll let him tell you all about that.
Thanks, honey. There have been a lot of changes just in the short time that we've been here. To every tribe is a young and a dynamic and a growing and changing organization. And one of the things that, one of the things that our years overseas taught us is the importance of just flexing to see whatever the need is and to adapt to it. Within a couple of months of having gotten here and beginning my ministry as the Director of Pastoral Care, or in missions it's typically called member care, I've been asked to not only do that, but to assume a major new ministry role, giving leadership and direction to our missionary sending activity across the board. So I want to tell you a little bit about that and what the thinking behind that is. We came here to every tribe with one goal in mind. And that was to do whatever we could to help our missionaries both survive and thrive. They're working generally in very difficult places, remote, isolated, doing a difficult work of pioneer church planting, taking the gospel to people groups where the name of Christ has never been mentioned. It's a difficult work. And so we've been trying to find ways of helping them not just survive, but thrive. Jane and I have been in ministry for some 40 years now, and many of those years we thrived, but some we just survived. And we need one another to really thrive. So that's what we've been trying to do. It's called pastoral care or member care. Member care is kind of like being at the bottom of a cliff, and there's the cliff up above and the rocks below, and the difficulties of life and ministry sometimes cause people to fall over the cliff and crash on the rocks below. And so we do whatever we can to help and to heal and to bind and to encourage. But really, how much better it would be, in addition to working with the people down here, to work at the top of the cliff and try to build a fence so that people in ministries would not be so likely to fall over and crash on the rocks below. And that's really the job of a missionary sending organization. To Every Tribe is currently involved in two major ministry focuses. One is the training of missionaries, and the other is the sending of missionaries. The training, the Center for Pioneer Church Planting. The sending of missionaries is not nearly as developed. We send missionaries, but we've not been able to do the job that we would like to. The Center for Pioneer Church Planting is developed into an excellent missionary training organization focused at pioneer church planting, taking the gospel where it's never gone before. We're doing a good job with that. What To Every Tribe now wants to do is to apply whatever resources and personnel and energy possible to focus, in addition to the training, on doing a better job with the sending of missionaries. So I have been asked to do whatever I can to give overall leadership to the work at the top of the cliff, the field ministries and the field missionaries. My responsibilities will be to develop a role, the director of the sending agency of To Every Tribe, a role which has really not existed before, so that we can put together an organization and the resources that when we send our missionaries, they're not as inclined to fall and crash below. It involves that. It involves providing the help that is needed down here as well as the help that is needed up there. Jane and I experienced when we first got in the field in 1976, it felt like we were on our own. We had been sent, but we didn't always feel like we were being helped. We used to laughingly talk about being yo-yo missionaries. You're on your own, yo-yo. That wasn't really true, not completely, but that's the way it felt. And we want to make sure that the missionaries that are sent from To Every Tribe aren't yo-yo missionaries, are not on their own. So my role involves the selection and appointment and the sending of the missionaries for To Every Tribe. It involves the overall leadership through others in most cases of the field ministries themselves, doing whatever it takes that the workers and the work of To Every Tribe on the field will not just survive, but by God's grace will thrive. It builds on all that we've done before, and Jane and I have a very real sense that it's actually for this that God brought us to Los Fresnos and brought us to every tribe. I'm energized, incredibly energized with the challenge and the opportunities. I'm humbled with the very weighty responsibilities that have come my way. And in the years, be they few or many, that God may give me here, my great desire is to see the ministries and the field missionaries thrive. So we desperately need your prayers. I trust we're not in over our heads. I don't think we are. I think we're here because God has so clearly led us. And really, for this, I believe we have been made. So pray for us, please.
So I just have two things to say. First of all, this is the second video in a row. Don't get used to it.
We'll see.
Secondly, please do pray for the changes, for new jobs, for expanded responsibilities, for all of the things that Walt shared with you. And wait for the next episode, which will be written. Thank you. Bye.
We love you guys. Thanks so much.